course, the workers are used to working in mines. I see what you did there. I see what. God damn it. But here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner. Top left hand corner here of Abyssal Reef, we do have our undead player, the blue undead. It is YoungYakov. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the man of the hour himself, the Chinese Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss, representing SC Boy. It is XiaoSe. Here we go. Yeah, XiaoSe, even though he's a main Zerg, he has been mixing it up a little bit, but I will emphasize once again what I mentioned earlier. So far, from what we've observed, covering all of these Warcraft 3 Evolution tournaments, covering all these events, we have observed that the SC2 Protoss does feel like the best SC2 race against Warcraft 3, just because of like it's the power behind its individual units. That's at least what we've observed, and it looks like XiaoSe has agreed with that as well, going for Protoss. Here we go. So we are building up back at home. Soon getting to our first unit. Now, we often do see Lich as an opener when it comes to the undead side of things. Lich does have a lot of potential, has a lot of kiting potential, has, of course, the Frost Nova as well. But against SC2 Protoss, I don't know how useful that AoE damage is. But there it is, yeah, Lich is on the way. So Lich is just a very common opening hero here for undead. Has a lot of kiting potential, has a lot of slows, has AoEs. So Yakov does open Lich. Meanwhile, going for the scout. Does move out with his boy, with his ghoul. Let's go. Likewise, back at home, we do have, I was going to say standard opener. It's going to be a 2-gate opener out of XiaoSe, so this will mean a delayed expansion. Delayed expansion, 2-gate opener, early second pylon as well. We do see the ghoul is here to try to harass him. We'll pick off maybe a probe, but the probe does pull away, and the ghoul can't quite keep up. So he's just being as annoying as possible. As we can see here, 2-gate opener into faster stalkers. I mean, a standard opener to go for a faster expansion here would be punished by this early ghoul. So far a solid start here from XiaoSe, playing safe. And he does lock the army in with that forge. Speaking of, yo, the boys are being pulled. Oh my god. Acolytes are being sent across the map. That I was not quite expecting. Meanwhile, the ghoul does get shut down as it rushes into the mineral line, gets one probe before going down. So the ghoul does fall. The boys have arrived. Let's go. Oh my god. Yeah, the boys are set up. Lich is on the way, pulling extra boys. Ay, ay, ay. So it does look like we were a little bit premature with these acolytes, a little bit, as there is no mining, or barely any mining happening across the map. There's a couple of boys, a couple of acolytes. Meanwhile, it looks like we have researched Frost Nova. So as you mentioned, Frost Nova, that is the AoE here for the Lich, and we'll see if we can bust in. We'll see if we can bust in. There we go. The Lich has arrived. Acolytes, they have a melee attack, if I'm not mistaken. They can punch, right? Oh, so far, Frost Nova does go off. Yeah, the Acolytes, they here to try to bust down that front door. There is one shield battery, but there's no energy overcharge. The first Stalker is going to go down. Oh, barely survives. Whew. Barely does survive. the clangs again. I love. It's like they're beating on the buildings with like rocks. How hard are the hands? Oh my god. I mean, they are undead. True. But the effect changes once the shields run out. There it is. God damn it. Meanwhile, so far the Stalkers, they do quite well focusing on the hero. The hero down to less than half HP. The Lich has almost gone down. Yeah, and without the Lich, I mean, there's nothing really left here. The Acolytes, they bust down that front door. They make their way in. Lich is pushing forward. The second shield battery is now done. And XiaoSe is holding. XiaoSe, he's holding on. Again, the Lich down to 35 HP. We get another Frost Nova. Backlights are falling one after the other. And XiaoSe can soon just hunt this Lich down. Unfortunately, there's no blink. There's no blink. But Yakov has to get the hell out of here, as the rush has failed. Now, bearing in mind, back at home, he is expanding. We have a natural base. And bearing in mind that's the reality is, those acolytes, they're pretty cheap. They're pretty cheap here. Again, you just need a handful of acolytes to efficiently mine from these gold mines. We can see another mine on the way. And even though the rush fails, I mean, he's also there. Oh no! Oh, get out of here! Lich, don't go down to the ogre. Oh no! The Lich goes down! Not like this. GG gets called. Does lose the Lich here in the retreat. It's dangerous out here. It's dangerous in the Abyssal Reef. Oh my god. And with that, XiaoSe, he will take the game. GG. Whew. GG, well played. XiaoSe does take a lead in the series. Again, Yakov, the initial rush wasn't quite able to get much done. I mean, thankfully, as a reminder, XiaoSe did open safe, right? He went for a 2-gate opener. He went for a late Nexus. 2-gate opener, double Stalker, safety shield battery, fully walled off as well with that Forge. Didn't have any cannons, but he did fully wall off, so he was able to buy so much time. The Acolytes, they eventually broke through. That is true, but by the time they did, we had some really nice target firing out of XiaoSe because he wasn't targeting the Acolytes. Initially, he was targeting the Lich. And the Lich got down to very low HP, didn't kill it, but did deter the rush, and he even did go down to the neutral creeps in the center, to the Ogre King. Yo, don't mess with the Ogre King, papi. Oh my god. As that leads us into game number 2. Love the sound. Startail Bomber, that brings back some memories, 100%. But here we go, spawning in the right hand corner, we have our now SC2 Zerg player. We have an SC2 Zerg player down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Chinese caster himself, the blue human player. It is Fresi boy XiaoSe. There we go. Welcome one all to Amygdala. Amygdala here is being map number 2. Once again, we have our natural base. Now, the thing that I find the most interesting about Amygdala is, and I don't know if this is intentional or not, but I really like the feature because bases and mineral patches and gas geysers are automatically replaced by these encampments, by the merchants, the goblin merchants, or by the mercenary camps, or by the tavern in the center. Because they're being replaced, that has meant that the center of the map is open. Again, the gold minerals that are usually here, the base that is usually here, has been replaced by a goblin laboratory. That means, bam, there's no gold minerals here, and that means suddenly the Warcraft 3 player has access to the center. This means that it's easier to, of course, punish this gold base, or even to race into this gold as well if they really want to. I mean, minerals / lumber are less valuable, to be fair, but of course you do rush into the center to rush into that early neutral camp if we were to rush into something like a Beastmaster, like a Rexar, or like a Pandarian, like a Brewmaster. The tavern is available. And if you recall, the Warcraft 3 player Liu Li would often rush into the Beastmaster early on. Meanwhile, it is going to be the initial hero of choice. Once again, going for the Archmage. So Archmage opener here by XiaoSe. Does open up with the initial 2 footmen. And we have seen a lot of struggles with SC2 Zerg, to be honest, in this race, just because drones and lings are so fragile. They're so fragile early on, and we'll see what XiaoSe can get done. Yeah, the boys are moving out. Let's go. Footmen, they do move out, making their way towards the natural. We're going to harass the mineral line, and so far YoungYakov, he does pull back. Oh, does pull back, does pull away. We'll lose 1 drone. And 1 drone does fall. So far, just the 1. Likewise, Footman gets surrounded, but and so far doesn't quite get a save. There we go. So he gets a second worker, second drone. Oh, that's a long sword. he killed that drone from so far away. Oh my god, once again. I mean, it is a long sword, true. So taking down 3 workers so far. Gets 3. Oh, he gets 4. Yeah, 4 drone kills, and looks like we'll trade against the Lings. And might get one more worker here as the Lings are all going down. 1 footman falls. And what is that? 6 Lings, 4 drones. And maybe one more Ling for 2 footmen. Not a bad trade. Not a bad trade here from XiaoSe. Meanwhile, going to be reinforcing. Archmage is moving out across the map. Did upgrade water elementals. And meanwhile, looks like YoungYakov does fully wall off here on 2 bases. Spine crawlers are on the way. As you mentioned, Lings, they didn't really add too much DPS or value here in the early game defense, so spine crawlers are going to be more ideal. Water elemental does spawn in. Oh, trying to go for the queens. Queens, they do outrange the elemental. And YoungYakov is safe. Right now, he's safe and sound. Getting another spine crawler, droning up. Recognizes doesn't quite need it. And he holds. YoungYakov, he does hold on. Behind this, XiaoSe taking his own natural. Working towards his blacksmith. Working towards, I would imagine, rifleman. That's usually the go-to composition, is to go from the archmage into rifleman. It's like a range-based army. We're back to creeping. Yo, we been creeping. Meanwhile, you see YoungYakov going to be switching things up and going into a Roach tech. Roach Warren has been thrown down. Yo, look at the gases. Jesus. What's going on here? Something's not quite right. Jeez. Yo, the steam's escaping the gas geysers. The simulators. Aye. Extractors even. Look, the mod is a little bit rough around the edges. A little bit. It's okay. It's okay. XiaoSe setting up back at home. Of course, there is a day-night cycle here in the mod. True. That does mainly impact Night Elves, for example. And of course, it impacts how the creeps do operate, whether they're asleep or not. XiaoSe is just looking to break out, building up his army. Again, riflemen are now amassing as well. Building up his dwarves. YoungYakov taking his 3rd base. And getting into the mid-game is where a Zerg player can really come into their own here. Getting to a proper 3-base economy, 3-base saturation, looking to set up and even max out on 3 bases as well. This is where I'm a little bit concerned here for XiaoSe when it comes to how well he can scale into a longer game. So now trying to break out. Oh! Nice, pulls away the footman. We have Burrow on the way here from YoungYakov. Interesting. Likewise, now being a little bit active, moving out with his Lings to scout across the map. Over here as well. Looks like XiaoSe did end up purchasing one of the Goblin Shredders. Shredding those minerals. Let's go. I love that, like, the visual effect is still that they're just gathering lumber. Gathering lumber from the minerals. Beautiful. Like, the gold mines make more sense just because the simulator turns it, or the gas geyser just turns into a mine. So it's like, okay. But yeah, get that wood. Also have some arcane sanctums here in production for extra sages. You know, Yakov, he is now on a 3-base economy, looking solid, building up his Roach army. And without any proper splash damage, I'm again concerned here for XiaoSe. Working on his Mountain King. his king. There's a lot of these upgrades that I just have no idea what they are. I just building up upgrades. It's fine. They're just, he's just upgrading his units. Don't need any details. Ooh, as YoungYakov, he is burrowed here in the center. We have tunneling claws on the way. There is potential to try to catch out the army. Here we go, Yakov being active. It's moving out. XiaoSe, he doesn't see this coming. Doesn't have the Zelnaga. Doesn't have vision. And here come the roaches burrowing onto the army here, and there is zero detection. Yeah, zero detection here from XiaoSe. Roaches so far, 52 roaches here from YoungYakov, just rallying across the map. Tumors have been knocked down. And XiaoSe, he doesn't quite see this. He doesn't know. XiaoSe trying to expand, getting a third base. Army about to be caught out. Yakov is moving in. And who does he go for?
Mineral field depleted.
Who does he go for? He gets a free unit. Gets a free Mountain King. Yeah, massive pickoff. Takes out one of the heroes. Denies the expansion. And now he's moving in. Now he's moving forward. XiaoSe, he's in a world of hurt. He's in trouble. As he doesn't see this. Again, he has no detectors. No. Yeah, there's the Unburrow. Takes down the initial tower. And there's no escaping this. No escaping all these roaches. The detector has arrived. It doesn't matter. And XiaoSe is going to be overwhelmed as YoungYakov, he will bust through that natural. Gets into the main base. Mountain King comes back. Does stun part of the army. That's a long stun. But alas, once again the Mountain King going to go down for a second time. And it does fall. Once again getting under the hero. Locking down the rifleman. And making sure there just is no kiting potential here. He's going to try to recall. He will save his hero. Oh my god. Gets out of the surround. Nice movement, to be honest. Very nice movement. And he's holding on. There we go. He sounds the alarm. The peasants, they pick up arms. They militia. Despite that, there's just still too many roaches though. I mean, YoungYakov did respect it, made sure he didn't get surrounded. Pulls away, heals up, burrowing under the army. And these are still better trades for Yakov, as he's still just rallying everything across the map. Once again, army gets slowed. It's a slow, not a stun. Interesting. That's for the third time. For the third time, the Mountain King goes down. He wants the Archmage though. He wants him. Can he get him? Oh god. The heal so far are solid. Does survive, does slip away. Oh, and XiaoSe, he's holding on. Oh my god, impressive. He does hold, does preserve his army. Again, you can see just how tanky these riflemen and more importantly, the Archmage was. Does hold on. Meanwhile, Yakov getting ready for the second wave, building up Ravagers. Likewise, a lot of boys have to be pulled. Most of the workers, I mean, they're now gone. So there is no economy. Has a bit of a bank to work with. Oh. Likewise, Yakov moving. Oh, Yakov moving in. How's this balance? How did he survive? These units are tankier than normal. So the army of the human of the Warcraft 3 army is smaller. So it's a smaller army, so it has to be stronger, right? To make up for that. Oh. Like, this is like prime example of the supply lies, right? The soup does lie. But regardless, there's no more economy behind this, no more militia either. And the riflemen, they're finally going to be going down. YoungYakov, he finally breaks through, takes down all the riflemen, gets on top of the last Archmage. And this time there's no escaping. It's the Biles! Oh my god. Biles do connect. Biles do connect. GG gets called, and YoungYakov, he will tie things up and take the second game. Whew. GG. GG, well played. So tanky, yes, that is for balance purposes. I think a lot of people, I think they get the wrong impression when they see like a 150 supply army going up against like a 70 supply army. They're like, oh, this larger army should win. It's like, no, that's not necessarily the case. They're more equivalent than they seem, just because Warcraft units need to be more tanky and they need to do more damage because there's less of them. Just to reiterate once again, the Warcraft 3 army is punished if it gets too large because of the upkeep system. You actually earn less resources and less money if your army gets any larger. So smaller armies are the norm. The norm. But here we go. We're jumping into our next game. Here we go. Jumping into the ace match, and we'll see how this story unfolds. Let's go. We'll take it. A spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have our red Zerg player, our Brood War Zerg. Let's go. It is YoungYakov. Tying up the series 1-1 and spawning in the right-hand corner. We have the Brood War Terran player, the blue Terran from the land of China, representing SC Boy. It is XiaoSe. Here we go. So as a reminder, XiaoSe did win game 1 with SC2 Proto, so he cannot play SC2 anymore. Meanwhile, we saw game 2, YoungYakov won with SC2 Zerg, and now that means neither player can rock up with SC2 races. Now it is Brood War versus Brood War. Let's go. As the initial units do move out. This time there are no creep camps, of course. There's no need for them. As we do have XiaoSe setting up in the low ground. Now, the last time we saw him in his series against Rotterdam, XiaoSe did open up racks into factory, into early tanks, into mass vulture, into mech. I'll be honest, I do expect something very similar here out of XiaoSe coming into game number 3. Meanwhile, we do see YoungYakov going hatch gas pool, standard opener out of our Zerg player here. YoungYakov, he has a lot of experience with StarCraft Evolution as well, so he is much more well versed with a Brood War Zerg. And we'll see what his answer is going to be to the mech that's on the way. We're making the assumption that XiaoSe is playing mech, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on him. Oh, because we have our racks on the low ground, but do you see what I see? A racks on the high ground. This might be a 3 racks. Okay. Now, as a reminder, 3 axes, they do hit different. They do hit harder in Brood War just because of stim, just because the academy, the early stim timing and early medics are insane. So I'm curious to see if we throw down an extra racks if we do go for the academy behind this. Let's go. Yo, that's a different model. Let's go. I love the way the Marine looks here. The way that he like points or he aims the gun up. Let's go. I believe this does look different to the StarCraft Evolution model, right? The Marine, I mean. There it is. Yep, there's Academy. So again, in Brood War, you don't need add-ons. You don't need any tech labs for stim. You do need the Academy instead. But the Academy doesn't just produce stim. It also allows you to get into medic production as well. So we did mention now 3 maxes, they hit different. They hit harder. They are stronger in Brood War than they are in SC2 because of this fact, right? Because you don't need a starport for support. You need an Academy, and then bam, you can make medics. So the stim timing here is going to be even stronger. It does hit earlier. It also has more sustainability because you can stim more often because of that medic support, and we'll see how YoungYakov prepares back at home. So far, Safety Colony. Safety Colony is on the way. Likewise, going for 2-base lair, going into Lurker Tech. Okay, this I was not expecting, but yeah, it's going to 2 bases. The lair is on the way. Based on the early Hydrogen, this should be for early Lurkers, I would imagine. Yeah, it's going for the double den, double upgrades here. So 2-base Lurker out of YoungYakov. The SCV Scout does confirm. And the question becomes, what hits first? The Lurkers or the stim? What does hit first? As stim is halfway done. Medics, they're on the way. Medics are building up. XiaoSe, soon to move out. Yeah, the Marine model, it's different. Like, even head-on, it is a different model to the StarCraft Evolution mod. Interesting. That's a big shield. Let's go. As we do move out. Lurker tech is still on the way. And you can see just a wall of spine crawlers. Yeah, just a wall of colonies on the way. Again, Yakov cannot defend, and not on his own, as he's not ready with the lurkers. So colonies are about to finish up. They're still a couple of seconds off. Does scan, does see this, he has to go. And it looks like he might be too late. He sims up the ramp. First colony is already ready. Does focus down. Second colony now has arrived. Yeah, getting to 2, getting to 3. Yeah, the side defense does finish up just in time. Hydras, they trickle in. And Yakov holds. Whew. Yakov, he does hold on. Against XiaoSe, he was just a couple of seconds too late. And now here come the lunkers. Lunkers are morphing in. And soon you can see just the momentum swing from one player then to the other. Scan reveals the lurkers. Lurker tech is ready. Oh, can't fire without the lurkers though, has to be careful. Likewise, behind this we have siege mode on the way, so we're getting into bio tank. Third CC is in production as well. Not mech, out of XiaoSe. Bio tank instead. Rallying across the map. And so far, the goal here for XiaoSe is not to break the natural, but it is to contain. To contain the Zerg player on 2 bases for as long as possible. We have link speed on the way. Hydra upgrades alongside this. And hopefully XiaoSe is looking. Oh! Oh my god. Does pull back. This for scan, takes out one lurker. Just gets a 1. Now, I don't think the mischance is in Warcraft 3 Evolution mod, just as a heads up. Don't think there is that mischance here. But I guess we'll find out. As third base is being taken. Lurkers, they waddle across the map. Could even set up a trap here. He's in the center. More lurkers morphing in. Likewise, the biotank army is massing up. Is massing. Once again, Yakov trying to bait the army in. Oh. Trying to. So we do have a bit of a lull here so far in the game. Oh, you see YoungYakov is taking up into the Queen's Nest. Queens would be ideal. For those that haven't tuned into Brood War before, Queens are a very different unit in Brood War. They're spellcasters. They're almost like an air infester, I suppose, where they have ensnare. Oh. They can, of course, spawn broodlings as well. Meanwhile, the bio army gets completely caught out. Very nice catch here by YoungYakov, and he moves out. He moves out, he commits. He's pushing across the map. YoungYakov not in position, the third base is exposed. The army a little bit too far back here. And Yakov will deny the third. Now moving in. Going for the tank. The first tank should fall. Oh, just barely. Tank goes down. YoungYakov, he controls the high ground. And XiaoSe, he has to rotate over towards the other side. Does rotate back. Queen's Nest is now done. Yakov rotates. Backs off, rotates over. XiaoSe still trying to retake this expansion. Doesn't pull away. Likewise, I don't believe Irradiate has been researched yet. But he's getting into his science vessels. I mean, that will still help here against the lurkers, true. Against the lunkers. The whole position. Oh my god. Nice whole position. Micro takes on the first wave of Marines and the second wave as well. Whew. Yakov, he's got some moves. Science vessel has finally arrived. Lurkers are going to be going down. Links to try to reinforce. Here come the more lurkers. Try to come in from behind. And nice trades here against the bio. And once again within range of the CC. There's a defense matrix here on that tank. The tank should hold its own. And the tank will shut this down. There's, what, 2 lurkers left. XiaoSe holds. XiaoSe does hold on. Again, for those who are curious, I guess it's almost like the opposite of the Raven, where the Raven has the anti-armor missile. Meanwhile, the science vessel has the defensive matrix instead. Where you can get a shield around a unit. So nice setup there from XiaoSe. Does hold. Behind this, the Queen's Nest is done, but I believe we haven't... What have we gotten here? Yeah, we haven't gotten any Queen production yet. Now working towards the Ultra Cavern. Hive is done. Wait, did we get the... Okay. So it looks like we just got the Queen's Nest for the Hive. And YoungYakov is going Ling, Hydra, Lurker into Ultra Tech. You know, I did mention how Irradiate was missing. There we go. Irradiate is now being researched. Irradiate is on the way. We're getting there. Yo, let's go. Queens are coming. Now, in this version of the game, I don't know if you need to research spawn broodlings. I'm not certain that the Queen comes out with the ability with the spells already available to them. But they do have spawn broodlings, they have Parasite, and they do have Ensnare. Drop into the main. Distracting Yakov. Forcing him back. Does get a full scout, does scout the Hive, does scout the Ultra Cavern. Science Vessel's moving in, irradiating the Lurkers initially. I'm not too fond of that. It does feel like a little bit of a waste here. Ideally, you want to save the Irradiate for when the main attack does occur. Okay, all 3 Lurkers go down. You don't want to pull a Kiwi in, where you irradiate prematurely and then you're not ready for the main fight. Speaking of, tower gets knocked down. Yakov buying time, going for a massive Ling run by. Good, Radiant Lurkers, Lings, they do hit the mineral line. XiaoSe out of position. Gonna try to respond. Yeah, it does F2 for a moment there, and SCVs are going down. And XiaoSe is committing. Reinforcements will clean this up, but he's losing SCVs. Oh, does dive in. Tries to break out. Tanks are unsieged. XiaoSe does turn around for a moment. 13 SCV kills. Still moving in. Ooh, does overextend. Both sides supposed to go down. Yeah, massive overextension. Do we have an irradiate? Oh, not quite. Bioarmy. Oh no! No detection! Oh my god, the Lurkers, they pop off. I just ran into the Lurkers. Half the Bioarmy goes down. And once again, he overextends with the Science Vessels. He'll lose both. 1, 2 Science Vessels go down. They get thrown away. 0 detection. Meanwhile, yeah, it looks like Ensnare is being researched. So the Queens, there are Queens there, but they actually have quite limited capabilities here. Lings go for another run by. 15 SCVs go down. XiaoSe forced all the way back home, losing everything here at the 3rd, losing his entire mineral line. 16 SCVs. But there we go. Now we have Ensnare. So Ensnare is available here for Yakov. He does not have spawn broodlings. So that is under an upgrade. A look behind an upgrade. Now moving in. Does ensnare the army. Lurkers, they push forward. Yeah, there's no escaping this. Yakov, he breaks through. He busts through the tank line. GG gets called, and Yakov will take the series 2-1, taking down XiaoSe. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Intense back and forth. A couple of step-ups here and there from XiaoSe. I do think the initial Ling run by at the 3rd base was manageable. He didn't lose too many SCVs. I think he lost 8 SCVs in total. But unfortunately, he did overextend, and he did overextend a little bit too much, a little bit too often with his science vessels. We saw what, 4, almost 5, up to 6 science vessels thrown away in that game because they did overextend, pushing too far forward over those Hydras. So time and time again they were shut down, and because of that, detection was very limited, and we did see those Lurkers trade very nicely, especially towards the end of that fight, shutting down XiaoSe and just giving so much momentum to the Zerg, to Yakov. GG. GG, well played. With that, Yakov, he will claim the series and he will advance on to the semi-finals. Now, when it comes to the semis, we have 4 players here lined up. We have Honmono. Honmono, we did see him in the chat earlier. He's going to be up against F91 in the upper semi-finals, and we have Yakov versus Kurian in the lower semis. Now, Kurian is a Korean Protoss that I'm very unfamiliar with. I'm curious if they are potentially a Warcraft 3 player. So I'm interested to find out. Otherwise, for now, we're going to be going on a short break. We just wrapped up the quarterfinals, and up next after the break we have the semis and then the grand finals thereafter. So we have 3 series left here, both semifinals and the finals thereafter. We'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon, Papi. See you soon.